Yeah, Deebo Samuel was on with Kay Adams during her show, her podcast, her YouTube show. He is a weekly guest. I guess it's staying in the off season as well. And he was talking about how important Brandon Aiyuk is to him, to the team. And I thought that would be something that we could play here at the end and react to before we tip our cap and say goodbye.
Here it is right here. Let me call that up and we can show that to everybody right here and now. Yeah, he goes on with Kay Adams. It must be it's got to be some kind of a paid.
Oh, you think?
Paid deal.
Yeah.
Unless he really loves Kay Adams. Here we go. Here's Deebo talking on the Kay Adams show.
On Aiyuk.
The season that he just came off of and the seasons previous. I mean, if you look at his numbers from when he got to the league and now, like, it's always a different type of leap. And so, man, like I told him, man, I said, hey, man, you put yourself in a position to be where you want to be for us. He's up for a new deal and things like that. And I just told him, because I've been through it, like, it's not going to be all fine and dandy like you think it's going to be, man. You got to stay the course. You done did everything possible that you done did for you to be in the position that you done be in, and just let everything play out.
I think letting BA go would be a huge mistake. A huge
mistake.
Yeah,
I love that guy. I don't see him leaving though. I don't see him leaving.
I mean, he better not. I love the positivity.
All right, she loves the positivity. There you go. Well, here's some positivity. I'm positive that the Niners can't have Deebo, Aiyuk, and JJ. So who's going? There's my positivity.
The thing that is the unspoken thing there is the contract that they gave to Deebo is the contract that is preventing them from giving Brandon Aiyuk everything that Brandon Aiyuk might want. And just in terms of who's your best wide receiver, I don't think there's much to talk about. It's Brandon Aiyuk. I would love to figure out a way to keep that guy around, but I've read enough stories. You and I have talked long enough to know that he really might be on that Tyreek Hill train. Like the guy you didn't think your offense could run without, you're going to be running your offense without him next year.
Well, it's funny. It's like, there's the old saying, do you listen to what somebody says or do you watch what somebody does? If you really want to know what direction someone's going, do you listen to the words that come out of their mouth or the actions that lead into it?
You got to focus on the hips. The hips. Yeah, Larry. You got to watch those hips.
So there's a lot of talk around all these wide receivers. Let's talk about Deebo for a second. He signed a 3-year, $71 million deal in 2021 after his All-Pro year, and he's still got a couple years left on his deal. And according to the buzz around the combine, the Niners would be willing to move off of Deebo in a trade. Now, what's he gonna command? And then there's Aiyuk, who John Lynch has stated about 19 different ways. We love Aiyuk. We want him here long term. But then at the same time he's saying that, they're interviewing, J.C. Latham, Talieisi Fuaga. These are tackles that are going to go in the 8 to 15 range of the draft. The Niners pick 31st. So why are you interviewing those guys? Because you don't really even have the draft pick capital to move up. The only way you're moving up to get Talieisi Fuaga or J.C. Latham is if you're trading Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, and that's, to me, I don't know that there's any other way you can get up there. So there's that. So are they going to trade Aiyuk? Then they're interviewing guys like Brian Thomas and Xavier Legette. These are wide receivers that a lot of people think are going in the 20 to 35 range. And so are you going to draft a wide receiver at 20 to 35? And if you are, isn't that an indication that you're either going to trade Deebo, trade Aiyuk, or trade Juwan? I think it pretty much is. So especially with your other needs, if you're thinking about drafting, a wide receiver at 31, I got to think that Deebo or Aiyuk or JJ has been moved.
The thing about Deebo is if you're going to get value out of him, he needs to serve that role of the other side of the Christian McCaffrey coin. And he didn't really this year. Deebo was not spectacular running the ball. It's like he regressed in that massively. He did not help the Niners on the ground. I think his greatest rushing day of the entire season was like, 36, 38 yards? I'd have to look that up again. But I remember the number being shockingly low in terms of a guy who was brought in to be this Swiss Army knife and multiple weapon. He really didn't serve the purpose of multiple weapon. So if Deebo is now just your number one wide receiver, he's wildly overpaid.
Right. And then we don't know. Deebo's, very much a unique weapon, right? He's a runner and a receiver. And so,
but he's not running. He's not
right.
running.
Well, this year he didn't run as much because you had the MVP of the league, or in some cases, some people's minds, CMC having, the offensive player of the year officially, but a guy who could have been the MVP in your backfield. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And then there's Juwan Jennings, who's restricted, but everybody saw the Super Bowl. This guy, if the Niners had won the Super Bowl, you're probably looking at JJ as the Super Bowl MVP. So he's got value. Then there's a bunch of ex-Niner people in Houston and all over the league, Tennessee, awful lot of people that probably have an awful lot of appreciation for Juwan Jennings. So what's it going to be? It's like something, this is why we talked about this off the start of the show. This is going to be a very interesting offseason for the 49ers. Why? Partially because every other offseason has been about building up. Now it's about maintaining and continuing to build as you're now 1 year away from paying Brock Purdy and a lot of your big time guys, whether it be Kittle, Bosa, Trent, or Deebo, are trending towards their latter years. And Mike Silver kind of suggested, hey, there may be, some deals. There may be some monumental type restructurings. Are they going to go after a Christian Wilkins or a Chris Jones? Does that mean that they're moving on from Eric Armstead? Will they move on from Kittle this offseason? Will they move on from Deebo this offseason? Aiyuk, Jennings? I would say, it's the one thing that's pretty sure is that they're all not coming back. Even if they can create the roster room to run it back, you get the feeling that they don't want to, restructure guys and create $100 million of room and run it back, that they want to have a little bit more fiscal responsibility going forward and balance. So obviously, the one part of an NFL season that I think is the most interesting is from when your season ends to when you get back on the kind of the playing field to kind of build for the next season. Because in between there is an evaluation of what went right, what went wrong, who's a keeper, who's not in that keeper category. And we got that message from Lynch last year at the Combine when it was really clear as day to me that they had moved off of Trey Lance and were recommitting to Brock Purdy. This year, we didn't get that kind of dialogue from Lynch, but you got that evaluation, I guarantee you, from the Niners. And we just don't know how they're thinking because the questions weren't asked in Indy about the futures of a lot of these guys. So I don't know. Maybe Armstead's coming back. Maybe he's not. Maybe Deebo's coming back. Maybe he's not. But I think the Niners are going to make some dramatic moves, bringing guys in and saying goodbye to guys.